Hey, and welcome to another episode of the Marco Podcast.
This show was created to shine a light on the realness of being an entrepreneur. Why organization is not a one-size-fits-all, why you need to give yourself grace, and so much more. The Marco Podcast aims to provide motivation, inspiration, or encouragement for you to keep going after your dreams. I'm your host, Angel. Sit back and prepare for valuable tips, resources, laughs, and so much more. If this is your first time here, welcome, and thanks for joining. If you've been hanging around for a while, welcome back, and I hope you brought a friend. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode. Today, I am chatting with Shanika G. Shanika is God's daughter, a wife to an amazing husband, and a mom to two beautiful daughters. Shanika seamlessly integrates her professional and personal life with grace and humor. She is the host of Insecure Faith Meets Joy and Freedom podcast. With a deep-rooted faith, Shanika G finds strength and inspiration in her relationship with God, which she shares openly with her audience. She's a business owner and a published author of Journaling with Faithfirmations, whose words have touched many, and her work as a licensed therapist has empowered countless individuals to navigate life's challenges. Known for her infectious laugh and relatable nature, Shanika G brings warmth and encouragement to everyone she meets. She is committed to celebrating every win, no matter how small, and is always ready to uplift those around her. Everyone, let's welcome Shanika G to the show. Hey, how are you?
Hey, everybody. Hey, Angel, my girl. I am good. I'm good. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you here. So everyone, Shanika and I actually went to college together, and Facebook of course keeps people connected and everything. So I'm in a whole bunch of podcasting groups, and I just kept seeing her name popping up in the podcasting groups, and I was like, okay, we gotta do a collaboration here. So like right after we record for my show, we're gonna hop on and we're gonna record for her show, and it's just good to like reconnect with college classmates and everything. So this is episode we feel with like a lot of laughs and fun and maybe some reminiscent. I don't know. We're just gonna see where it goes. So is there anything else you would like to share before we get started?
No, I think you hit it on the head. Yeah, like you pretty much hit everything. I think I'm clear. Yep.
Okay. All right, cool. So how long have you been an entrepreneur and how did you get started?
Woo, oh man. Yeah, so I think my husband knew I was supposed to be an entrepreneur before I really knew I was supposed to be, because I would have jobs, right? And I think my personality is that, and I know that's why I have a degree in psychology and all these things, because I need to know and I need to analyze and I need this to make sense for me in certain things. And so in certain jobs, I would ask questions and people didn't really like the questions I had. They didn't really have clear answers. And I'm like, yeah, well, you really didn't answer the question, right? and so I'm like, that was my thing. I'm like, I would keep asking. And I do that with anything. Like, I'm going to keep asking if I need something done, if I'm applying for something, and I know the thing says it takes 7 to 10 days. Okay, at that 10th day, I'm following up. Like, I'm going to just keep doing it. And that's literally how I got a lot of stuff done, because I asked the questions and I'm going to keep following up. And so that was me. And so my husband, I would just come home and be like, yeah, they did this today and I don't understand. He was like, well, babe, that's kind of how jobs go. And I'm like, no, that's not right. And he was like, yeah, you probably don't need to work for anybody. And I'm like, what you mean? He was like, be in business for yourself. I'm just like, I don't know about all that, right? And so I remember being laid off from one of my jobs, and yes, laid off, not fired. I was really laid off.
There's a difference. There's a difference, people.
But I just remember during that time, I was like, oh my God, I want to continue to be my husband's helpmate. I need to bring in some income. I need to do something. And my first business was actually called Rain Fresh. And so oh no, I'm mixing it up. It was actually Help Granted Concierge. That's what it was. Okay. And it was basically, you know how Walmart and Target now has a thing where people will shop for you in there and they'll bring it out.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing. I the business side. I was like, okay, it was geared toward helping like college students, the elderly, pregnant moms. And I was going to do like your grocery shopping. If your car needed to go and get oil change, you don't want to stay all day, call me. I got you. Like that was what I was trying to do. Right. I had two customers, everybody, two
Okay,
customers.
that's okay. Two wait, were they your mom and your husband? Because that's usually how it goes.
Actually, I was surprised too. One person was actually pregnant.
Okay.
And elderly lady in the neighborhood. And so I did those, but they had been like, it had been months in between them. And I was just like, okay, I did all this leg work and this is it. It's just two. And so I, kind of like silently closed it up because I'm like, I don't want everybody know I failed,
Right, yeah.
And for a few years, I was just like, oh man. So I went back to work and, and it was just like, I don't know. And then I think I tried to take another job that was going to pay more money, but then the company actually got shut down. Look at there.
Oh, okay. Look at God.
So here I am again, like, I'll figure something out. And I'm like, Lord, what I'm gonna do? And sometimes you move too fast and you don't really wait on the Lord's answer, right? And I feel like this still is something that I could go back to, but it may have not been the season for it. Maybe it was just the preparation part that he was getting me into in that. But this company was actually called Rain Fresh. And so it was like Rain, REIGN, Fresh. And I took Bible verses to kind of come up with that. Basically, it was where we see now where you have the shirts that are like, I wear them all the time, like God is dope, or some type of language just to say like, yeah, I'm a believer in what it looks like, right? So I had these shirts. This was what 2014, I think.
Okay.
I know it was before I think my oldest was maybe 1 or 2. So yeah, that's been a while ago, right? And I had some customers there. I was in this little magazine where you could promote your business, and I had people that I guess saw the ad and they actually purchased from me in different states. It wasn't just family. I was like, oh, this is dope. But I still was like, okay, it still ain't, doing what I needed to do. And so kind of stopped with that too. But I feel like that one, like I said, I feel like I could still bring that one back because t-shirts with affirmations from the Lord, they popping now. They popping.
Oh yeah, girl. That's all. And then you can mix it in with what you got going on now too. So
exactly.
There you go.
So that one, I'm like, I can run that one back, and I think that would be cool. But I don't want to rush again before I hear from the Lord. So anyway, I came to this space of becoming a counselor, and I remember going to my pastor's first conference that she had at the church, and I remember telling one of my really great friends there, like in the middle of us shouting and praising the Lord, I was like, I heard from the Lord. I'm gonna open my counseling business. I don't have to wait these 5 years. Like I had been getting information from other counselors and talking and in these groups. And it benefited me. And I started looking into things, calling the State Department to see what the qualifications were and all of these things. And so I was able to open a counseling business in the state of South Carolina. You need to check your state because I can't talk for every state. But in South Carolina, if you are a licensed professional counselor associate, which just basically means that I don't have a unrestricted license yet. And so that just means I meet with the supervisor whenever whenever our schedules align, but I don't have a supervisor, if that makes sense. So I am licensed to have my own clients and all that good stuff. So I opened the practice. It has been well. It's been ebbs and flow, different seasons. It kind of decreases and it picks back up during the months of like holidays and all that good stuff. And so I have been in that since 2022. Been a business owner there for since then. And then last year, I published my first journal workbook, Journaling with Faithfirmations. So I can now add author to that too.
Yes.
Working on some other things as far as like journals and things like that too. So I started that journey of entrepreneurship very early, learned lessons and gotten better. And, just through that, it has strengthened just my faith in God to know to be very much more mindful of the spaces that I'm entering into and not losing focus, and also just asking him for when he wants me to do things and how he wants me to do it.
Yeah, no, definitely. You got to, that was something that I wasn't doing at first, was including him in my business. And I was like, what is going on here? Why is everything just chaos? Like, it is just a mess. I don't know what's going on. And I was like,
Yes.
something is missing and I don't know what's missing. And finally I was like, duh, it's God. Like, that's what's missing. Okay, let's incorporate that here. But like with your journals, your shirts and stuff, you can combine that. And congratulations on your journal too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you can combine all of that together and kind of put your stuff together. So it was little, I feel like maybe it was little pieces that you had to do here and do there for it to all come back together
Yes.
at, some point in time. So I feel like it's going to come back full circle for you here soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So you touched on it a little bit. Did you major in psychology in undergrad, or did you go back and do it later? You did?
Yep, I majored in psychology.
Okay.
But I didn't start there. To be clear, like I was like, I think I want to do this. Oh no, I don't like this. Like my original major was biology. And I remember freshman year, they had us to identify like over 100 different fungi. And I was like, oh yeah, this is not for me because I don't know these names. I'm out of there. Yeah. Literally after the first semester, I was like, I'm out of there.
Oh, that was me. So I was determined to be an English major in college. Like I was going to be an English major because I was going to be a lawyer. And my mom told me, she's like, go in undecided, go in undecided. I was like, no, I'm going to be an English major. I got this. Went through first semester, second semester, I said in English 102 or 201, whatever the heck it was, for like 2 weeks. And she told us something. I don't know if it was a book we had to read, and I love to read, but I was like, it was either a book we had to read or a paper something we had to do. I said, yeah, this isn't for me. And so as soon as that class was over, I walked myself over to the administration building. I dropped that English class because I didn't need that class no more. I took my little 101. I was good. I didn't need that. And I changed my major to communications. And I remember I waited I think to the end of freshman year to tell my mom that I had changed my major, because she's like, you're not going to keep changing your major. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a communications major. And so I actually had all my core classes with your husband, since we were both communications majors. So I'm with you on that whole, it's like, yeah, I'm not about to do this. So
no need to do it.
Right. So how did you go from biology to psychology?
Oh, baby, it wasn't a real quick, biology to, I'm so sorry. Yes, darling.
It's okay.
Okay, you got a pillow now.
Yeah. It's okay.
It's one of my cute little pillows. So.
It's always, of course.
Always something, right? But it wasn't like biology, psychology. No, first I went biology, and I was like, oh, okay, this looks cool. Oh, no, can't do that. So then I was like, maybe I'll switch to what was it? With the athletes.
Sports medicine.
Sports medicine. I was like, oh, maybe I do sports medicine. That might be cool. I read some of the curriculum. I was like, yeah, no, I'm out of there. I didn't even take a class. Then I was like, okay, communications. Your girl loved to talk. Why not? So I was like, okay, I'm going to do communications. And then I was like, oh, no. It was a course on there. And I was just like, I think I did it over the summer. I changed it over the summer. And I took a course so I didn't get too far behind. And I was like, oh, no. This ain't for me.
What course was it?
I have no clue. And I feel like I don't even, I don't want to say it was an English course, because I don't think I don't remember, but I was just like, no. And it didn't feel like the work would be hard. It was just like, I don't think this is it though. And so then I was like, sociology. Let's do sociology. So I took some courses in sociology, and I was like, okay, I think I'm finding my rhythm. I had to take one of the psych classes under that or whatever, some way. And I took that, and I was like, oh, this is it. Changed my major in psychology, and boom. And I remembered, I was like, look, I can't be here to 2012 taking courses, because I was supposed to finish in 2008.
Right.
And so I'm switching these majors. I took the easy math and stuff. I went to, I remember doing a semester at Aiken Tech, because I was like, I can't get with these English teachers here. They're getting on my nerve. So I went to Aiken Tech. I took a class there, so I didn't have to be too far behind. I remember in the summer, I was like, I took Maymester, Summer 1, and Summer 2 at one point.
Oh, God.
girl. That's
Oh
how
my
focused I
goodness.
was. I was like, I cannot be here forever. So I did all of that, and I finished 2009. I didn't get to
Okay.
like the ceremony until 2010 because I was going to skip the ceremony just because that was the year my dad passed, and I was just like all over the place, and I was just
Yeah.
like, I don't want to do it. My mom pushed me, got me to that place, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So I walked 2010, but I finished in 2009. Yep.
Okay. Girl, you got me over here laughing so hard that I'm about to start crying. I can't even drink my coffee because every time I go to take a sip, you oh my goodness, that's what I was like. I did not think that she was a psychology, but like I remember biology because I remember too that we met at orientation. Like, first of all, the stuff the stuff that I need to remember, I can't remember it. Like, you asked what happened 2 minutes ago, I don't know. But you
I
asked
don't.
me what happened 20 years ago. I'm like, cool, this
I
is just like I remember we met at orientation, and again, something that I should remember. Everybody's like talking about their majors and stuff, and so that's why I was like, psychology. I knew she was just like biology or some other like
You were right on
science, not this
it.
science, but I was like, okay, yeah, but so your journey with majors sounds a little bit like my husband's journey with majors. I think y'all probably what you had 4 or 5 different ones. I think you said, huh?
Yes.
I lost
1,
it.
2, 3, 4. Yes. Yeah. I
Okay,
got the fifth
okay.
one myself. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, so you that was my husband's journey as well. He had so many majors. One time he randomly told me about one, and we had been together for about 10 years, and I was like, wait, I never heard of this one before. Oh Lord, oh my goodness. Okay, so
It'd be like
we settled on psychology, and oh, oh my God, I'm sorry, girl. I'm almost in tears over here.
it's a journey. That's why when I hear other kids like in college down there, like, oh, I'm undecided or I changed my major, I'm like, you got time. Okay.
You
Trust me.
do.
Let me give you a little snippet. Okay.
Right. And then it's even crazy because now, it's like I said, my mom told me to go in undecided, and then you could go in and you really didn't have to declare a major until I think like middle of sophomore year or something like that,
Yep.
because that's when you
Yep.
would start getting your core classes. But like kids now, they go in there with their first 2 years already done, and it's like, oh, you basically got to go in there and decide what you're gonna do because you
Yep.
done knocked out, your first 2 years in high school. So I mean, I think it's cool, but at the same time, I think it's taking away some of the
Sometimes you
fun
don't
and the
have to take so
experience.
many times. Some of the best years. Me and my husband we're always telling our girls, like, yo, we had some of the best years of our life in college.
Yes. And like even me and my husband, we didn't go to the same school, but that's what we always talk about. Like, we're like, we had some of the best times of our life in college. Like,
Yes.
college was it. And I'm just like, now these people just go to, you only got 2 years left. Like, and those are the serious years. What are you doing? You missed all the fun. Like,
I was freshman to sophomore year.
what? Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh God. Okay, y'all going off on. Do you remember when we used to party at the rec center? It was like a daycare during the day.
I absolutely remember this. I absolutely. And then we had the Legion
Oh yeah,
in the
yeah,
Warrenville area. And then we had the
yeah.
Mexican Club.
The Mexican Club, that was it. The Mexican Club was the first semester of freshman year, and I think it went into a little bit of the second semester of freshman year. But then I think the second semester is when we more so started going to the rec center, aka the daycare. That we was at. Was the Legion? Was that the one that was like kind of off of a main street? Like if you were, I'm trying to think because I remember there was one that was in like a strip mall type of looking thing or something like that.
It was one there. Oh, that was the that one was off of York Street. The one
Yes. Okay.
that,
That one. Okay. Yes. And that was like all 4 of these places was between freshman and sophomore year because junior and senior year, I don't even like.
I did. I was out there.
Yeah. I don't remember like
Yeah,
where
I
did we
really
go?
don't.
So
I really don't.
yeah.
I know at that point I was all in love and stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
chilling with the husband.
Oh, okay. You was
I
done
was
by
over
then.
it. I was like, I mean,
You
I don't have a reason to go anymore. I'm chilling, going to the movies.
okay.
I was good. See,
Okay. See, so you scooped him up and then you just forgot about the rest of us. But
I mean, I love y'all. We saw each other on campus. Hey, y'all.
But hey, I mean, you did disappear there for. I was like, she's where is she? Oh, okay. And then you randomly pop up. I'm like, is she still like a student here? Or is she just coming to hang out? And now that all makes sense. But yeah, seriously, those 4 or 5 places was all just like freshman and sophomore. Yeah, I think the one in the strip mall, I think that went a little bit into junior year because I remember going there before I pledged, and then after I pledged, like it was just like road trips and stuff like that. And I don't really remember, but good times. Oh my goodness.
Sure.
Oh my God. So how do you stay organized, balancing personal life, business, mommy, wife, all of that stuff?
Man, I have to have a plan. And what I realized is that it's not my plan. That was the thing because I remember, and I even like, I have like a thing that I wrote. I was like, you know what? That's gonna be one of my topics to talk about my used to do to-do list. But what I used to do, thank you, baby. What I used to do was like, oh, I'm gonna make a to-do list. I'm gonna write down everything I gotta do, and I gotta make sure that I do them all because if I don't, I failed. I did not do what I was supposed to do, right? And I just remember like sometimes life got really busy. I mean, you have unexpected things. If like my kids are in school, oh no, they forgot they need, or when they were younger, they needed extra clothes. Oh, they, may have messed up a shirt or something. Or oh no, I forgot my school lunch. I forgot my lunch. Or oh no, she doesn't have her glasses, and she definitely needs them for the board. So things like that just pops up, and you're like, oh, that took an hour of time that I didn't realize, and that got into the to-do list. And so what I've started to call them is just like, okay, these are just things that will keep me a little bit more organized. And I had to get away from being in control to try to get them all done, to realizing like, okay, let me stop. Let me ask God, okay, God, you know what I got to do today? Show me the priority. Show me how to do this, because I don't want to be stressed out doing it. I don't want the end of the day to come and then I'm like too drained for spend time with my husband or to hee ha ha with my girls. I don't want that. Right? And so that was what I had to start doing. And then to be able to like kind of keep the space of work and personal life. What I've done, I think everybody has always known about me. Like, I am very serious about at the end of the workday, I don't know these work folks.
What? Okay.
Who are you? Oh no, I don't know you.
Yeah.
I don't have a work email after I clock out for the day. I don't have a work schedule. I don't have any of that when I clock. All of that is for the next day. Because what can I do at 8:00 at night?
What can I do? 2:00 in the morning.
Or 2:00? What sense does that make?
Right.
So I have like been that way for as long as I can remember. But what I had to do was just make sure that even when it came to work, and my husband still teaching me this, like when to break, and like if I'm building my own thing, I feel like I gotta work. I gotta get it done. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me make sure everything is in order. And so even on some evenings when I'm just like in the room watching TV with him, I'll have my laptop sometimes. I'm like, oh, let me just send this real quick email. Or on days where I don't really have anything to do in my mind, or like if I don't have a client or whatever, I'm just like, I need to be doing something. And he'll hear me say it. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh my God, I would just, baby, you're shaking. Stop. Thank you. Yes, you can. I'm so sorry. But
I told you the only reason mine came in here is because he's downstairs eating, so you good.
Girl, summer break. But anyway, I'm like, I'm just gonna do this thing right here. Maybe he's like, do you have to? Like, you don't really have to do anything. And he's working, so he works from home. So I'm seeing him work, and I'm like, boy, you're doing something. I think I should be doing something. He was like, yeah, you can do something for me. Sit down, go watch something, chill out. He's like, you don't have to always be doing something. So that has been a part of it too, just having really good support in my husband to like give me that balance to say, hey, sit down. You're doing too much for what? Relax.
Yeah.
Relax. So having a good support system has helped me to stay organized and be able to balance, and also just kind of changing my language around the balancing part. Instead of me saying balancing, I like to refer to it as just an integration of sorts. So I'm able to have my family, my business stuff, working on whatever it is that I'm building, but also kind of make it fun too. So they'll come in like when I got this little free decor stuff, because I'm like, I want to spruce up my little space. They came in and they're helping me. They're like, oh, you should do this. And my husband's like, you put the microphone here, you do this. Why don't you do this? Like just having them a part of that too, to just have them along the ride, and we make our own memories with it, because we can find humor in anything. Like that's just my family. We're silly like that. But being able to make the moments as we go, me being able to have him to be that support, the encourager, the pusher, all of these things, they matter. And so that's how I've been just able to keep it all organized. So it's God prioritizing my day. It's me having the support of family. And it's also just being able to find that balance of when to shut it off and just enjoy your family time. And so like weekends, that's what it is. Friday, when he hits that button, he's like, it's the weekend, baby. Hey, we don't have to be doing anything extravagant, but it's just like, oh, it's our time just to connect. Evening time, once he gets off, we'll cook sometimes together, laugh with the kids, do, like I said, the most silliest things in the house. But it just keeps the flow, it keeps the peace, it keeps me being able to continue what I do too. So that's how I kind of stay in that flow of being organized and doing what I gotta do.
I love it. Like, I'm with you. I am a to-do list queen. I think I probably got like 2 or 3 behind me. Like, my list have lists. And it's just like, and you said, when you don't finish it, you feel like a failure. I dated my list because I got whiteboards. I redid my space too. And so I have whiteboards where I write my to-do list down. And I wrote like for the week. And then I was looking at it and I was like, oh, I didn't get all. I was like, it's a week and a half later and I didn't finish all the stuff. So I looked and I was like, well, I got most of it done. So I just erased the board and I just I think I redid it yesterday. So I just put yesterday's date and I was like, until the end of June. Like it'll get done sometime.
It'll get done.
It's like, I know I can get it done. And I was also like you too. I was telling somebody the other day, you just feel like you always have to be doing something, because when you have your own thing, it's just like, okay, I got to get this done. I have to get this done. And you feel like if you're not doing something, that people think that, oh, so you're really not doing anything. You're really not working. And it's like, but I am. I just don't have anything to do right now. And so I've had to stop doing that, because I would create busy work for myself. And then that would take me away from what I was actually supposed to be doing. Or I would end up going in and messing with something that was already perfectly fine and then getting mad at myself about it. And so I had to stop myself from like doing the busy work type of stuff. And my husband, he was working from home yesterday and today. And so sometimes I just get mad at myself in the middle of the day, or I'll get frustrated or something. I'm like, I'm just gonna go take a nap. So I think yesterday I was just like annoyed or mad about something. I was like, I'm just gonna go take a nap. And my family all jokes, they're like, your naps are not regular people naps. Like your naps last 3-4 hours. I'm like, I cannot help it. I do not know why. That's just how it is. So I took a nap. I didn't realize I fell asleep yesterday, girl. Like I was playing with my son and I told him to go do something. And the next thing I know, like my husband came in the room, he was like, you taking a nap? I was like, huh? And then he came back later. He's like, so do you take a nap every day? And I was just like, wait, I'm not sure how to answer this right now. I'm like, because that would be productive. But a nap helps me to be productive. I mean, it messes up my sleep schedule, but I'm like,
but I'm going to be productive.
Yeah, I'm like, I need my midday nap, because then when I wake up from it, I'm like, yes, I can go. I can do this. I got this. And I'm just like, I do. But I'm gonna get some stuff done after I finish this nap though. So yeah, but that's surrendering and just being like, okay, I cannot control everything. It's a hard pill to swallow. Like it's
very hard. It was harder for me, but what I found to be very helpful for me was getting to this place to really like have a relationship with God, not just saying, oh, I believe I'm gonna follow him, but like really have a relationship. And I would sit down and I would wait to hear from him instead of, oh, I'm gonna do this real quick prayer. All right, God, I threw that out. So got that right? You got it. All right, cool. I'm going to do what I need to do now. Right. And so then it became more of a, no, I need you to slow down a little bit more. And I would slow down a little bit more. And then it was just like, okay, I don't have to do this by myself.
Right.
Okay, this feels good. Like I don't feel pressured. I don't feel stressed. Okay. All right, Lord. What? I'm surrendering. What else?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, this is what real surrender feels like.
Yes.
I don't have to force anything. Like I can really depend on you. Like, and I can partner with you and you're telling me what to do. And I don't have to feel like I have to have it all in my own control, because the truth of the matter is we really don't anyway. We just got to get to the point where we really know that.
Yes.
But once I really knew that and I walked in that way, it changed my mindset. So that was one of the things that became really, really helpful for me.
Oh yeah, I agree with that too, because that was also my issue. And I think I was listening to a podcast one day or a YouTube video or something, and it basically said what you said. It's like, we pray to God, we ask him to guide us, and then before he can give us the answer, we've already gone and we've tuned into all this other noise and all this other background stuff. And I was like, oh, I do that. I was like, I'll pray to God, and then I'll go turn on a podcast or turn the TV on for background noise or go call someone or something like that. And he's probably like, ma'am, I'm trying to give you your answer. And then, later on I'm mad because I'm like, God, did you not get my message?
Did you answer me?
Yeah. And he's probably like, I tried, but you couldn't hear me because you had to go run off and do 11 other things.
Exactly.
Like, oh, so I finally started doing that. I even created, like, I have my prayer journal, but I created myself a separate journal that's my business meetings with God. And so I use that to write down. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, God. So what we working on today? Like, what's my focus for this week? So yeah, you definitely have to get that quiet time.
I'm taking that. I just need you to know that business journal. That's 10 out of 10. That's 10 out of 10.
Listen, I went to Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, one of them, and just got me a plain little black notebook. Because first of all, I love journals, and so I love a good journal. And I'm always like, oh, I got to be fancy with it, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. And I was like, hey, see, yeah, girl, all mine across the room, they all listen. I got everywhere. And I was like, Angel, you just need a notebook because you're gonna take 500 years to decide on. So I went to one of those stores, got me a little $2-3 plain like black notebook. It has like the little thingy in it that you can bookmark it and everything.
Yes.
Came home, turned my Cricut on, and just did business meetings with God. Printed that out and slapped it on the front of it, and boom, there we go.
I love it. Girl, I got my Cricut sitting right here in front of me. I'm literally looking at it.
Like I'm literally looking at mine too, and I'm like, okay, so yeah, that's what I did, and it's been so great, and it has helped me so much to kind of hone my focus in and just realize what I really need to be focusing on. So
that's so good. So
thank you. So speaking of journals, so you wrote a journal and published it. So what was the process like of doing that?
Man, let me tell you something. I remember, y'all, and just so you know, I need your people to know, Angel, I have stories for days, but this one, I just remember years ago, I think when my oldest was still really little, really young, not that she's old, she's 11, but 11 is almost 7-year-old.
Listen, they call us old, they old.
Oh, they do. They do everything. Like, oh, y'all was in the 1900s. But anyway.
Yes.
Whatever. Your grandma was too. But whatever.
Oh my goodness.
But I just remember like writing on my laptop. I wrote out like a book, and it wasn't finished, but I felt like it was good. I think I can add some more meat to it now. I'm in I feel like I've matured even more, even in that, but it was like an empowerment for women type of book, to kind of encourage women. And so I started on that and I didn't finish, because I don't know. I really don't know. I just feel like, I think I got back into work and you know how that stuff kind of happens. And so I kind of put it to the wayside. And then 2021, I was sitting on the couch with my husband and we had just gotten our new home. And, you know, I had gone through my pastor's mentorship program. And so I was in a new space of like freedom of trusting God and really, giving up my own way for his, all of that, right? And so in that, I was sitting on the couch one night with him, and I was just thinking about his goodness and how he calls us worthy. He calls us his daughter, how much he loves us, all of these things. And it was just hit me. It was just like, Faithfirmations. And I'm just like, what is that? Faithfirmations. I like that. And I remember saying to my husband, I was like, I don't know what this means, but Faithfirmations. And he was like, what is that? I was like, I don't know fully yet, but I'm gonna hold on to this one for a little bit. And I remember writing it in my notes, and I remember taking a screenshot of it so that I could be like, no, I'm not lying to you. Like 2021, I really did come up with this. And so I sat with it, and then he brought it back around to me like at the end of 2022. And I was just like, oh, I get it now. Faithfirmations, this is a space where, I in counseling, I always do like videos with my clients to kind of like get us in a space to hear clearly, to not, focus on your negative thought pattern or your, self-limiting beliefs and all that stuff, right? And so I would do affirmations. I would play little affirmation videos, and sometimes I would have them to write out their own affirmation, things like that. And so what God, he gave me was that, well, why don't you put my words with that? Like, why don't you put what I say about you with that? And that is a faithfirmation. It's literally hearing God's affirming word over your life and being able to couple that with literally what the Bible says, because we know the Bible ain't a lie. And so I know if I'm saying this specific thing, that it is true. And so it was born, like Faithfirmations became a thing. And so I was just like, okay, Lord, you want me to do this? And it was just like, you gotta get this out to people. And I'm like, I don't know book. I don't know how to structure it. I don't know nothing. Okay. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't know how this is supposed to look. I don't know how much to write. I don't know how many pages I'm supposed to have. I don't know anything. I know nothing. And guess what? I heard from him. Good. I'm not asking.
Right.
So I got on this journey. Some days I was like, okay, I'm amped. Let me go in here. I got my coffee. I got my worship music. I'm going to war. Let me write it out. Da-da-da-da-da. Had my little table that I would write at. Then go to the laptop. Like I had a little thing. And then some days I go in and I'm just crying. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. This is so hard. I don't know if I'm doing it right. Will anybody even purchase it? Will anybody, like it? Will it be a success? Will I sell one copy? Like all these things would happen on certain days, right? And it was just like through that journey, God was just kind of reposturing, if that's a word. I don't know. But
I like to make up words. Go for it.
I like it. But it was just like my heart posture was changing. The way that my mindset had been was changing. It was like, I'm not telling you to do this for you to get the likes or for you to become a millionaire off of it, but I need people to know what I say about them. And I need it to come from you in this manner. And so when I tell you the structure of it and all of that, I know that it wasn't in my own strength. Like I've never done anything like that before. So I remember, just like asking my friends, like, well, y'all know any good publishing companies? I don't know what to do. Like when I say I had no clue how this journey was supposed to look, I had zero clue. But one of my good friends, she's a photographer, dope photographer. And she had someone that she did chops for that was a publisher, had her own publishing company. So I reached out to her and, she got me in there, I put my deposit down. We started working together. And one thing about me, if I'm in something, like my hands are on deck. Like I don't do just okay, I'm gonna throw it out there, you make it work. I would be like, okay, I want this and I want this to look like this. No, I want to keep this. Like I had to, because I needed the authentic parts of it to remain. And I know they had to do their own, tweak it to make it whatever. But I'm like, no, this part has to stay. This part has to stay. This has to stay in it. It has to read this way. When I'm saying, hey, sis, hey, girl, like I need all of that. That's me.
Right.
That's me. And so I need this book to represent me, that the Lord is speaking to me, to his people, to his women, right? And so I had that process in there. And even now to the cover, at first, I had this idea of, okay, purple's my favorite color. I'm going to do purple. Purple little flower things here, whatever. Nope. I was on a retreat and we were in the mountains. We stopped and I took a picture of the mountains, and it was just so freeing. It was a sense of calm, a sense of peace. And God was like, I need you to send that in. And that needs to be the cover. And I'm just like, we sure about this? And I was just like, but I felt the peace of God that like I could feel it did it. So I remember sending it in to her and she was just like, we'll see, you know, if the designer is able to do it that way because it may, you know, the resolution, you know how all that stuff happens.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no, I think it's supposed to be. I was like, is it because of like a copyright? No, this is really my photo. I took it. I can send you the screenshot of me even being there. I took this photo like it's
Right.
mine.
This is mine, my photo.
Yeah. And she was like, no, nothing like that. We just want to make sure that it's going to show up good on a book. And I was like, okay. So she sent me a rough draft shot of it. And I was just like, okay. So I got the author's copy of it and in my hand. And I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And I'm reading back through the words, right? And I'm like, I wrote that?
I said that? Where'd that come from?
That sounds profound. Oh my gosh. No. And so I just remember that. And then when it was finally like ready to go and I was ready to take the pre-orders and people started getting it and I got the final, you know, draft in my hand, I cried because it was just like a beautiful journey of the ebbs and flows of how even life goes and just like trusting God from beginning to end and not just saying I had a vision, but I actually wrote out the vision. I made it plain. I put it out there. I did the hard work. I trusted him through the process. I cried when I needed to cry. And I took those tears to God too, even then. So that entire process was just wrapped up in me, just learning more about God's nature and just hearing what he says about not just me, but his daughters. And, you know, and even some men have picked it up too. And they've been able to present it to like even their churches. They do it for like, you know, their Bible study classes and things like that. And so I thought it was just like, it was amazing. And I'm just like, God trusted me to do this. He trusted me. And I am to this day honored because I still get little messages in my inbox because it came out September of last year, 2020. Okay. And I get messages now when people, you know, get it. And I'm just like, I remember being afraid that even, you know, when I did it, I remember like moments when I was younger where I felt like I wasn't supported by some of like the extended family members, you know, like your cousins and stuff like that. And you don't get the likes and you don't get the follows. And I did not worry about it then. This time around, God was like, this time will be different. And I trusted that. And baby, he blew my mind. That's all I got. And so that was my journey. Yeah.
I love it.
And you know, one thing I do want to mention during that, like I didn't stress about finding the time to write or what to write because it came from him. So I didn't have to struggle with, oh, what is this part going to say? I was just like, okay, I'm going to put this here. Like I had a, you know, those like the desk calendars that you get.
Yeah.
So I had an old one and I took the back off of it because it was pretty long. And so from that back, I was able to section off everything and write out each Faithfirmation, put the back, like I had so much space to really write because I'm a pen to paper type of girl. Yeah, I love my laptop and all that too, but I gotta write it out. I
have to. If I don't write it out, it's not real. Like it's not real. It's not gonna work out. Like I need to see it.
I need to see it and type it. Yeah, I can do that faster, of course, but I gotta write that thing out. Right. And it's like, I don't know, maybe it helps me remember it a little bit more too. Like, oh, this is what you said. This is, yeah. So yeah, I wrote it all out. I still have it in a closet. I'm literally looking at it and every time I just walk by it, I'm just like, oh my God, thank you. So yeah, journaling with Faithfirmations.
Okay. I love that. Well, make sure that you give me the link of where people can order because I'll definitely include that in the show notes for you. So
thank you. Okay, we'll do.
Yeah, please do. And so why is it important for you to celebrate the small wins? Because a lot of people, they're like, I'm only celebrating it when I reach this goal. And they don't think about the little milestones that come along with it. So why do you make it a habit to celebrate all your wins, no matter how small?
Because I have to. It continues to push me to get to the big goal. Like I feel like in the journey that you're walking through and the plan that you have, if you're not mindful of acknowledging every step that you take, and you know, when you have those hard moments that show up and you're like, oh my God, another milestone. How am I going to get through this? This is another bump in the road. I'm supposed to be doing this. But then God works it out and it's better than what you thought it would be. You're like, man, I got to stop and celebrate that because I didn't think I was going to get past that part. I didn't think I can get past that part, and I did. And so I think it's just so important to make sure that you're celebrating every step of the journey as you conquered those small steps. So that way you don't forget it. You don't forget it. You don't want to get to the end of something and then you look back and you're like, oh, yeah, yeah, that I did that. But then it helps you to remember the journey. It helps you to think about where there were times you could have given up, but you didn't. You kept going. You remember the times where you had certain people that prayed for you because you thought you were going to give up, right? You had those moments where something or email or whatever popped up and you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. And it helps you to build something that's just so big and beautiful. And it just reminds you of that you're walking obedience and trusting what God has for you as you're getting to the specific journey. And so when you fail to like celebrate those moments and those wins, then like I said, you get to the end and it's just like, okay, I've done another thing. And you're just like, you don't like, I need to remember that. I want to remember it.
Right.
So that way, when I set future goals, I'm like, oh yeah, I learned that thing in that season. Like that was the thing I learned there, and it helped me so I don't make the same mistake again.
Yeah.
So I'm celebrating every win, every accomplishment, because why not? Why not? And you never know like what part of your journey has helped someone else, right? You don't know whether they may have seen where it looked like you were stuck here, but you came and you conquered that little area, and that was all the little motivation that they needed to keep going. So you never know along this journey that you're walking through who you may inspire, who may be impacted to keep going, who may feel like they put it all down and they put it in a little box and they taped it back up and they put their dream and a goal back on the shelf. You never know the ones that you may have inspired to go, maybe I can get that back down and open that box up and give it another try. So that's why I make sure that no matter what it is, I'm going to celebrate it. And I remember like I kind of hit on it earlier with when my dad passed. I feel like if I would not have taken the moment to walk across the stage, that I would have probably looked back on it at this point like, man, I missed an opportunity just to celebrate the idea that how much he believed in me and he knew it was going to come. Like one of the things he would say was, want to buy you a car when you graduate from like a new car. And I'm like, oh, okay. And what was so beautiful was that my mom, she remembered him saying that. And what did she do? She got me a car.
Oh, wow.
Just those little things like that. It helps me to remember that journey and say, yeah, I have to make sure that I'm celebrating every step of where I'm going, because all of that I'm remembering and I celebrated got me to the space to become a counselor, to get to this space to talk to other people and reach out to other people and help them to navigate through hard times, tough times. Because what I want them to know is that for each tough time or each rough moment that you're going through, find those small celebratory things too. So that way you can be reminded when hard times do arise that good things still happens too. And I think for so many people, we get stuck in the hard moments, or that we forget that we have these hard that we have such great things happening, because all we can see is the negative things. And so I think when we find the ways to celebrate and remember those things, it will help to keep you pushing.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that a lot of times if we forget to celebrate the small wins, it will deter us from keep going, because if all you're looking at is the failures or the setbacks, you're not going to keep pushing instead of saying, okay, yeah, this happened, but I've made 3 steps progress towards my goal. Let me keep going. I think people really forget that. And so I love the fact that you celebrate the small wins, because they are just as important as the big wins, if not more important, because they help you to get to the big win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Well, Shanika, before we go, tell us about your podcast.
Insecure Faith Means Joy and Freedom. Y'all, this is a super special space that I'm in. Thank you, baby. She wants me to show my little sign they helped me do.
Oh, I
did
love
the
it.
letters. Yeah, they helped me do it
Oh,
the other day. It was so cute.
it's so
They
cute. I
cut out
love
the
it.
letters and all of that. And so insecure faith meets joy and freedom. It just came from a space of me kind of walking through this journey of overcoming insecurity and whatever that may look like, and not allowing past moments and past insecure places and spaces that I had navigated through to stop me from using my voice, and to also show up big and have this space for other women to come on and do the very same thing, because I believe that there are so many stories and there are so many experiences that so many people need to hear about, and something that you may have on the inside of you that could be the very thing that someone else needs to get through it. And so we never know who we're impacting indirectly or directly. And so I feel like this podcast allows for me to be able to provide a space to for people just to come on and to share their stories, to share their practical tips, to share some insights that have helped them along the way. And in that, having the faith, the joy, and the freedom to do that. And what I tell people is that when I say insecure faith, it doesn't mean that I'm saying that my faith is insecure. What I'm saying is that in my insecure moments, when I'm having these insecure thoughts, or having the fear or the doubt and all these things that may try to arise, I can be very secure in knowing that I serve a good God that gives me his joy, his freedom, and I can have the faith that he's working it out for me. So that's what insecure faith meets joy and freedom is around. And it's just been a beautiful journey. I think I kind of like started off with lives, and I promise you, I didn't know what I was doing with those either. I started like in February, and I was just like, okay, God, live. All right. I don't know about going live like this, but I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna
Right.
be obedient. And every time that I've said yes, it has led to something different and to something more. And I started off like just kind of doing the interviews with just people that I know and I've been able to do life with. And now he's walking into a space like I want you to do the solo ones, but I also want you to reach out to people that you don't know too and get those stories too. So making these connections and networking and all of that has just been a beautiful journey. And I don't know where it's going next, but I know that I'm just continuing to trust him as I do it.
Okay. I love that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for telling us about your podcast. And is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we go?
No, just that I have enjoyed the conversation. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Angel. What you're doing is amazing. It's needed. We appreciate you. And yeah, Insecure Faith Meets Joy and Freedom. Follow me and, all the things. Check out the podcast. I would love to hear from you. All the things.
Okay, awesome. And how can everyone connect with you?
Oh, yeah. So I have my personal page on Instagram. It's at the real Shanika G. And then the podcast page is Insecure Faith Meets Joy, the letter N, and then freedom. It wouldn't let me do N because I ran out of space because that's a long name. So Insecure Faith Meets Joy and freedom. And then I'm also on YouTube with the same handles, and my Facebook, Shanika B. Grant, or Insecure Faith Meets Joy and Freedom.
Okay, awesome. And I will get those linked in the show notes. And you are so welcome. I'm so excited that we got to do this. And thank you so much for coming on and being a guest. This conversation has been so fun and just so chill and so relaxing. And I can't wait to record your podcast and see what happens. See what happens on that one. So
yes,
well,
thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I usually say enjoy the rest of your day, but I guess I'm getting ready to talk to you again in 2 seconds. So I will say enjoy your, 2-second break that we take in between this. So
that's it.
All right, girl. I will chat with you very, very soon here.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Modco Podcast. I hope that you enjoyed this episode and learned something from it. Be sure to share this episode with a friend, family member, colleague, or anyone you think will enjoy it. Make sure you hit the follow or subscribe button. And if you love the podcast, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on your favorite podcasting app. That helps others to find us and gets us listed in other show recommendations. So you all know that I run on coffee, and so does the show. If you'd like to buy us a coffee, you can do so by clicking on the link in the show notes. Thank you so much, and chat soon.